into the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
Hello, AfterBuzzers. We're taking a break from earthing and enjoying our charcuterie tray. It's the Real Housewives of Orange County.
I love that earthing reference.
That was good.
Yeah, I've been using that ever since we saw that episode. I'm constantly trying to earth. Don't bother me, I'm earthing.
We should take our shoes off right now.
We should.
I like it.
I'm sure they'd love that. Here?
Yes. We'll be covering 2 episodes tonight, Suspicious Minds and Broken Records. I'm your host, Grant Rutter, and the panel is here. We have so much to say. Let's go. Who's sitting next to me?
Yes, hello everybody. My name is Christy Olsen. We are in our brand new studio today, and you guys can all catch up with me at Christy Reports.
And I'm Alison Dean, and you can find me everywhere at the Alison Dean.
And I am Blake V. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
All right, we missed you guys last week.
I know, it's been a while.
I know, it seems kind of like it has been, right?
It has.
So with
We've
that,
missed each other.
And we were not in Bali or anything. So.
Well, I don't know about you, lady. Oh, Christy. Well, now we know.
Well, let's take a little trip to 2 weeks ago when we had this conversation. We're picking up at the party, the Aries party. So we're going back there, and then of course we'll bring it to everything that went down tonight. But Heather and Vicki have a moment, and this is after Heather points out that the doctor that Brooks saw treated her cellulite after her twins were born.
Yes.
So, I mean, and Heather, I think, is a good gauge of the truth, because I feel like she's not like the Esther that Tamra'S got the label on. She's not impulsive, kind of like Meghan's been. So, they're like, all right, I'm like into it. So they have this one-on-one, and Vicki didn't bite her head off. She has a little bit more respect for Heather than the other women.
I think there's a reason why it worked for Heather to be doing that.
I think it's a lot of the way Heather delivers things, though. Like, she has a certain approach that... It's like she kind of buffers it before she even starts speaking, like, not trying to attack you, not trying to stir the pot, but just here's where we're coming from. So I think the way she lays it out is helpful.
She does. She definitely has a good delivery, but it's very interesting because, delivery aside, I feel like she's always had this kind of
That's true.
This kind of status within the group. It's like somehow she's kind of like the next level up. She's fancier, and she's, I don't know what, more eloquent and more intelligent and more like anything positive, she's more of it or something. And that's what everyone thinks of her as.
Yeah.
So it's sort of interesting her now giving that information to Vicki. I'm sure she really does take it in a different way, because it's like, ooh, it's coming from Heather.
Right. Heather uses the right demeanor to get through to someone like Vicki.
Heather points out that the doctor that treated her cellulite, according to Brooks, said that he treated his own cancer with this treatment. Resveratrol. So Heather's asking all these questions. She's like, well, who's lying? Of course, this is all on her one-on-one. She's not so aggressive with Vicki as the other women have been, so she knows what she's doing. And, this is where the whole conversation started of just, like, show the medical records. Let's go. Let's see what it is. So Vicki asks, is this any of Heather's business? Why is she up in Brooks's medical records? Why does she want to see all this stuff? What do you think at this point, where we are? Is this really Heather's place?
Well, I think the same question, in terms of from Vicki's standpoint, I think the same question is asked to all the ladies. I mean, she's really strong in her convictions in terms of saying, like, why do all these ladies care? I don't need to show them anything. But it's really interesting because every single other lady at this point has now said, just show us the medical records. We would show our medical records if something was in question like that. So at this point, now that all the ladies are on board, it's putting Vicki in a very interesting spot, because now she's really being kind of pressed to the wall and really, encouraged to do this and show the medical records.
I think that it's because all of the information that has been delivered has kind of contradicted itself at this point, and everyone is sort of putting this all together. So the natural thing to say is, look, if you want to shut everyone up, then it's a simple thing to do. Just, it's almost like you don't want to tell that to someone, but at the same time, if everyone is piecing things together and the puzzle isn't fitting, the one way to sort of nip everything in the butt is to be like, well, here's the facts right here, right? So
right, and as this
fair.
was all kind of culminating the last few weeks, I've been thinking that too, and kind of more so just out of curiosity and just wanting to really
want to know.
Yeah, but as we're sitting here talking about someone sharing their medical records, it's kind of occurring to me how outlandish that really is.
Yeah, truly.
not everything. I mean, just like not like I don't need to see your entire life's history of medical records. Like I don't need binders, but just like, if you get something back that says yes to cancer or whatever, like,
But I think the problem is that you don't get something back that says yes to cancer. You get some convoluted medical
that's not
result
true.
of
That's not
whatever.
necessarily true
No?
because I've gotten things back where it's like yes to this, and you're like, oh, that's not good. So you know what I mean? Or like you're clear. So it's like,
clear.
in medical speak, but it's not like 12 pages of yes, you have cancer. I mean, it's at one point it's like yes or no, positive, negative.
Right.
Well, and your lady's point is just really that Brooks has dug himself this hole by putting out information and giving answers that are not solid.
In a way, I'm sort of the opinion of like, why do they even care? Why do Vicki and Brooks even care? Like, I think if it were me, I would just be like, think whatever you want, cool.
We're gonna go deal with this cancer
sick,
now.
I'm dealing with it.
Yeah.
Like, why are the other ladies' opinions so important to Brooks and Vicki, particularly Brooks? I'd be like, what do I care about all these ladies? I'm dealing with my thing, whatever.
And it makes me more suspicious.
Yeah.
Well, I've been watching Vicki's behavior, especially in this episode, Suspicious Minds, very closely, because we'll get into it as we get further into
Grant.
it. But this time this is when she took off from the party, and even Heather said, well, why are you running? Like, why is she getting out of here so quickly?
Yeah.
So she was done, of course, that pissed off Shannon, and they had that whole conversation in Shannon's living room. But Shannon says if Brooks is lying, Vicki knows, and she really tried to give Vicki the benefit of the doubt that she knows what's going on, and she's just like, she wouldn't stay in the situation. What was it? Clarify this for me, because it was a little back and forth.
I think the implication from the ladies was just that Vicki could never be snowed that hard.
That was it.
Like they were saying, like, this is the Vicki Gunvalson. She could not be taken to the cleaners that far by some guy.
Thank you for clarifying. I was like, at this point, so much she said.
Right, but it's almost a compliment at this point. They don't mean it well because it's not a good thing. But it's like they have so much respect for her that they know she wouldn't be able to just let this fly and be naive about it.
Yeah, they know how strong a lady she is.
Yeah, Tamara even said that, I think she could be duped because Brooks can be that convincing.
Yeah. I know, which is really interesting because now we've seen in many episodes back to back where this Brooks medical records, kind of issue has really been coming to a head for many episodes now. So it's interesting to me, the approach, because it seems like when Vicki is confronted about this stuff, she really gets upset and she escalates and gets angry and screams at them and freaks out. What if she just didn't care and she just to their face said, fine.
Yeah.
It certainly would be more convincing.
Waiter,
give me another drink. Yeah, like just not even giving in and just saying, look, I'm truly not talking about it. Moving on, or whatever. It's interesting because she keeps like playing into it, and everybody gets all fired up about it. But it's like, I just feel like if she took a different approach, this whole scenario would be vastly different.
I think we can say that about Vicki, though, in many instances of how she's handled
I
things.
agree with you. Yeah.
So it's just, I think naturally she's just someone where, as much as there's a lot of people who say, I don't want drama, I don't want any of this, and yet those are the people that frequently attract
Cultivate the most drama.
Housewives 101.
Yeah. Well, how about Tamra'S comment at this point that Vicki is turning into Brooks? That was not meant as such a compliment, I'm pretty sure. I mean, they were really implying that she is on board with this, that he's convinced her to go along with this storyline and all the things that we know about Brooks and his financial dealings and cheating and all kinds of things, to say that someone is turning into him is definitely not meant in a positive way.
That's a scary transformation.
Well, Meghan places a bet right away in this episode that she thinks in 90 days Brooks will announce himself cancer-free. So, where do we go? What do we do with you, Meghan? What do we do? What do we say?
I know she's just so blunt and so forward.
I know.
She's just
And
like,
so
don't know what to
correct.
do with it.
And so incredibly correct on this point.
Yeah, so you agree. You think that, he's going to come out and be like, guess what? I'll cure.
It certainly would work.
yeah,
It's the only ending I can think of to faking cancer, is saying, "Oh, I'm cured."
yeah,
Right.
truly.
I mean, where else do you go?
Yeah.
Well, let's fast forward to Shannon at this lunch with Vicki, and of course things turn sour
Wow.
as they do so quickly.
Yes.
Oh, so true.
And Vicki wanted no part of it. She showed up complaining. It was just like an obligation to her. She wasn't feeling it from the beginning, and then it ended with her basically saying, "I'm done, call Brooks." And this was a huge moment for me, because I was saying, up to this point, she's done everything to protect him with the whole birthday thing. She didn't want to get him upset. She's been trying to keep him keep him away from them and not involved in the drama and deal with it all and put it all on her own shoulders. But at this point, if this is not the truth, how much can you keep carrying on your shoulders with a lie? And so at that point, she's like, just call him. And that's kind of how I would be. If someone is just making you look so bad, you can't keep covering for them at this point.
Yeah.
If that's really what it is, then yeah, I mean, what are you supposed to do? Just be like, figure it out.
Yeah.
Because I'm not.
It was a turning point for me too, but my thinking was, oh, she's not even going to bother to protect him anymore. She must know that this is all BS. Because how do you not defend someone who has cancer? Like, she's all of a sudden going to just stop defending him and go talk to him instead, right?
I was really consumed by the fact that I felt really bad for Shannon in those moments, because really Shannon has really been Brooke's biggest supporter from jump, and the fact that Vicki was so dismissive to like just having a conversation with the one person that has really just tried to be the most helpful all along, I was like, whoa, what's happening to this friendship? Like, this is bizarre, because I really don't feel like Shannon has done anything wrong.
Right. And poor Shannon, she keeps getting her head bitten off every time she goes to Vicki with something that she thinks is positive or helpful to Vicki in some capacity. Vicki just loses her mind on her.
Yeah.
And she just oh man. It's hard.
Well, that leads us into this most current episode, Broken Records, where Shannon's basically like, it's question. What do you think? Has Shannon been a good friend to Vicki? The question was proposed at the top of the episode. I think she's been a good friend.
Absolutely.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
We can't argue against. There's no points to argue against it.
No, and actually, the fact that like some of the facts that were put out to the extent of like Vicki asking her for help or not asking her for help, that actually kind of irked me a little bit too, because I don't think we saw any of that footage, but I believe Shannon in that instance, because I feel as though she would wait for someone to say, "Can you help me with this?" I feel like when it comes to medical things, you can give people information, you can say, "I will help you," but you have to wait for them to say, "I need you to help me." So I don't feel like she would have made those phone calls and all that other stuff. So yeah, I think she's been a good friend.
Yeah, and like otherwise, what is Vicki implying that Shannon really did like call the doctor and like set up the appointment for Brooks, like against his will, like show up here now?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Right.
And even if she had, it would be coming from a good place.
Yeah.
And it would be a friendly thing to do.
Right.
I think Shannon bringing it up at that lunch was a smart thing to do, because she said, look, like, these women are coming to me now asking me, like, how come they didn't go to the doctors that I recommended? They're coming to me for questions. So to bring that to the table, I don't think that was a poor choice that she did. I mean, Vicki, it's a season. It's just not a good look for you.
Oy.
I mean, I don't know. Every housewife has their day or their season,
Well,
So
Heather
this
had
is
hers too, so
Yeah.
Vicki's been on long enough. She may have had a few, but yeah.
Yeah.
Hers is cyclical.
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like,
It's like, come back
yes,
around.
yes, no.
Although she's having a great hair season, I have to say.
Oh, it's
her
wonderful.
hair looks fantastic. I will give that to her. Yeah.
100% agreed.
The look works.
Yes.
Success.
I think, I hate to even go here, but I think Brooks actually looks pretty good himself for a man who's so ill. I mean,
In his interviews, he did look. He
he
looks.
looks good, though. He doesn't look sickly.
Yeah, I mean, I think I know.
I'm like, he's
what can we
clearly-
say? What can we say?
Yeah.
We don't know either way here. But I mean, with the story, but I mean,
True, and that's really the gauge. I mean, I feel like it's probably different for different people,
Yes.
or in like the stage and severity of whatever cancer it is that you're battling. And
Right.
he did say that he stopped doing chemo, and chemo is what really takes the toll on your body. So maybe, kind of not having that in the mix is helping his appearance. as
And
well.
he's getting blood oxygenated back into his body.
Oh yes,
Oh yeah, and
yes.
not fast enough, according to Vicki. She's gonna get to work.
speed it up.
Hurry this along. I gotta get to work.
Awful.
That really
so
is.
awful. I couldn't even take it. Oh my god, Vicky.
He was
Jeez
like,
Louise.
please, like things were connected into his,
Don't touch
veins.
it. Please don't touch it.
I've always loved Vicki and her work ethic.
Right.
At all times, she's
Jeez.
bringing it up on vacation. Remember, she brought the laptop on the vacation. It was like 3 seasons ago, and there was a whole like little bumper of her just working away the whole trip. She didn't care. She's like, I need a day to work. I'm like, good for you.
Hey,
Somebody's got to pay Brooks' medical bills.
Oh,
right.
I like
And
it.
his child support.
Oh, Christy.
Oh, dear.
That's the angle.
oh Christy, oh dear.
He did look pretty comfortable when he greeted Tamra at the door in his thong sandals and bathing suit.
Wouldn't you?
That made me uncomfortable.
She
That-
lives in a beautiful
you know,
resort
did you
of
feel
a
the
home.
same? I kind of was like,
Okay, if we were doing jeers and cheers, that would be my jeers. That whole exchange
like it.
was super freaking fake and like, ew. Like they had just yelled at each other very aggressively days before, and it was like, hey, friend. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
This. Anyway, that bugged me. Sorry. There we go. Bugged me.
yeah.
Agreed.
Boo.
Yeah.
And stay tuned for
Cheers
our
on
news
that.
and gossip section to see if Brooks will be returning to Vicky's home anytime soon.
Ooh, okay. Well, I want to talk real quick about the moment where Tamra came in the previous episode to meet with Vicki. I just want to jump back because she apologized for how she got so aggressive at the Aries party towards Brooks.
Right.
And then Vicki apologized. 'Cause Vicki, I want to say this because Vicki doesn't spend much time apologizing on this show, but she did apologize for being the one that told Tamra about what Jim said to Brooks at the Ducks game.
That was impressive, Grant. That was what.
I followed you the whole way.
Oh, thank
Yeah.
you. So there we go. Vicki, good for you. You said it. And, I mean, come on. She was the source. Jesus Christ. Let's say what it is.
Don't say that. No, just kidding.
Well, I can use this as a transition because we are now going to be talking about Tamra'S Baptism, and she's trying to turn her son over to the white light. To
Yes.
bring him to God.
Yes.
This is kind of a developing story, of course, but things don't seem to be going pretty well in Ryan's life.
Oh no. In fact, excuse me. I got too excited. In fact, I feel like we learned some new information too. Like a whole bunch of things came to light here on this episode. We found out that Sarah has lost her business. Which did we know what type of business
Guns.
she
It was
had?
gun sales,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay.
Remember she brought one to the house? Remember
Thanks, Allison. Thank you.
Remember,
What did Blake do to you?
I know,
right?
right? Mother issues going
remember
on
she
here.
brought one to the first time she met Tamra?
that's
She
right,
just
yes.
took it out
Yes,
of her
yes,
purse.
yes.
Mine's a cotton candy gun.
That is right. Thank you.
Yes, back in heat.
So she lost her business, which was curious to me, and I wondered if it had anything to do with the move to OC. Like, was that maybe the excuse? Like, oh, I'm not there to run it or manage it anymore, so it's going kaput. Yeah, I don't know.
It was the catalyst.
Right.
For we have no business now and
Let's
no
move down to
job.
Orange
So
County.
where do we go?
Time
Give
to
it-
come
and-
to the OC.
And give
Yes.
us $8,000 to do so.
And help us out. Yeah, and then we also found out that Ryan is unemployed. And
They
then
called off the wedding twice.
Twice.
which we didn't know about before. I know, and these details were just like hurting my insides just to think, man, like they're already so far. It sounds like in the hole debt wise. I mean, obviously they're needing Tamara's help to maneuver around. They don't have jobs. They've got all these kids. It's like, hey,
This is a good
Not
example
good.
of like, just, pump the brakes a little bit. You meet someone, just,
slow it down just a bit. Not gonna hurt a thing.
simmer. Just simmer
Yeah.
for a bit.
Yeah.
Like, live a little. Whatever. You can always get married.
Yeah.
You can always have Well, theoretically. I mean,
Maybe not anymore
everyone,
for
but-
Sarah.
But she had a
she's
few
good.
already though. I
Yes.
think that
it's
her,
not like
covered.
she was like, oh my god, I need to have a baby. I'm getting to the age where I can't have babies.
No, her
Yeah.
kids could have tided Ryan over for a little while. Let's just say that.
Yes, I would agree with Blake on that. So it was just too fast. No.
Yeah, Ryan himself is even saying he wishes that he would not have moved so fast with her.
Hello.
And then we saw that his grandmother and his mother all said, like, you can't do this, you can't do this.
They all
told him.
They did, and he just didn't want
And
to
he
listen.
did it anyway.
I do want to bring up one little thing from
yeah.
the Suspicious Minds episode.
Yes.
When they came into the house, he looked Eddie in the eye. He was saying some negative things about the home as well, but he looked Eddie in the eye and shook his hand and said, thank you. He did that, so I just wanted to. I thought that was really
Throw him a bone.
I was like,
a point of
and?
contention. So I just wanted to say,
We're keeping score here at
I
AfterBuzz
agree with you.
TV.
That's right.
Yeah.
I agree with you,
Ryan,
though.
Gold star.
Yes,
But only-
and I think
only
that says a lot. I mean, man, woman, whoever you are, I think that if you can walk up to the person who's helping you, and even if it's not a family relation like how it is, between Ryan and Eddie, and to straight up say thank you for this, like that's big and that's important.
It's a man thing to do.
It is.
It's a human thing to
It
do.
is a
but
human
yes,
thing, but-
it's good that he did it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And part of Simon's problem with him back in the day was that he didn't show a lot of gratitude for what Tamara and Simon were doing for him. So
Yeah. Well, I want to say we've seen him do a lot of growing up, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's been forced to grow up in certain aspects, but not all.
Right.
Well, let's turn to a very successful power couple, the Dubrows. They're
The opposite end of the spectrum.
a little bit, right? Yeah. So they're well. First of all, we have to mention that Lisa Rinna from The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills made an appearance, and they chatted about. Apparently, she's had a very successful line. What do you want to say about Rinna? Were you happy to see her? Did you miss her on RHBH?
I love her. I think she's wonderful.
Yeah,
I
no,
like her. And
I'm a
I thought
fan.
I thought it was a very welcomed appearance on this show. Funny to see how far back the friendship goes between Heather and Lisa. I had no idea. So that was fun. And of course, I think that's great that Lisa had some fun, helpful advice for Heather on this whole new shopping network adventure.
I like that her advice was, just don't care. Just
She was
don't
like,
be you.
everything that you've ever learned to do,
Unlearn that.
don't do that.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
right. I appreciated that.
I liked the crossover, but to me, it didn't do anything for me.
No, not really.
It was just kind of like, okay. But I mean, they're all the same production company produced the shows, and of course, Botched as well. I mean, so it's a great tie-in for Evolution Media. It's very easy for them to do. Right. But to me, it's just like, I don't know. It was like a drive-by, and I'm not used to seeing the crossovers of the Housewives. We haven't really seen that
they
too
seem
much.
to have, they kind of have a general rule, I think, about they don't want to muddy it up.
Yeah.
No,
They
they've
wanna
done
keep
it.
these ladies over here and these ladies on the West Coast and these on the East Coast. But we did we see the ladies from New York on this last season of Beverly Hills Housewives?
I believe it's a one.
I think that they came and they did
There's
a little
overlap between
dinner.
Brandy and the blonde in New York. They modeled together.
Oh, okay.
I know.
Which one?
There we go.
Kelly?
No, the current blonde that's on the show.
I can't keep track of all the blondes.
Yes, Kristen Takeman.
Did you win some money? It sounds like you won a little bit
So
of money.
forgive us, we only do West Coast Housewives.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
Kristen
Not really.
Not up to speed on
Takeman
that.
and Brandy are friends, and I think they're having a spin-off show together.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm going to defer to Christy on this.
I was just going to say, I've
do we
heard
need that
no
for?
rumblings of this
I
whatsoever.
have heard
and I
this.
cannot wait to go home and get my Google on.
Yeah, I have heard
Okay.
this.
All right, I'm on
because
it.
Brandy
Quite a
is now
tidbit,
off the show.
Allison.
Anyway, we're digressing from the OC. Okay.
Yeah, so what do we need that
you all
show
probably
for?
still love it too. I say we throw all the housewives into a house like Big Brother style. And let them like,
Great idea.
That's
I
my
like it.
thing.
I
I like
would
it.
watch it.
Sign me up for that after show right now. Perfect.
That would be so
like a
good.
cross between Celeb Apprentice and Big Brother.
Yeah.
But the prize should be like some kind of philanthropic fundraise. Like it should
yeah,
be
that would
because
be
they
good.
don't need money, so it's
Yeah,
like give
right.
the money to a
What
cause.
was that show that was on years ago that was like celebrities all in a house together and
Surreal Life.
Surreal Life? I missed that one.
Another classic.
I was just talking about. I was thinking of
love
Brigitte
those.
Nielsen and Flavor Flav and how they found love on Surreal
The
Life.
best flavor.
I
of
lost
Love is
love.
the best unscripted show I've ever seen.
Yeah.
It
was gold.
I wish I
miss
talk
it.
about a super fan. Like,
Yeah.
oh, if we did that show here.
Okay.
Rock
All right.
Love, yeah, Rock Love chick.
In any case,
The host has wandered off the subject.
I love Julie.
we had to go there. Sorry about
Oh,
that.
I like that new one. I
That
gotta
shouldn't be-
say, that was festive.
How legit is this E-Vine that the shopping
E-Vine.
network?
Okay,
Yes.
this is what I do have
Fill
a
us in.
teensy bit of scoop
Give it to
on.
us, Christine.
Yeah. So based out of Minneapolis, Minnesota, and you can watch it online all the time, but it is also on television, like it's on DirecTV. I asked my husband's actually in Minnesota right now, and I was like, check the thing and see if it's on. See if it's on.
I love
like it.
It's on DirecTV nationally.
Okay.
Actually. So it's going out to a lot of households. And I know at first, our first reaction was sort of like, why aren't they on QVC or HSA?
Yes.
And they didn't really explain that in the episode. But
And I was hoping they would.
Well, they said something like 88 million people are going to watch this. I mean, come on.
You think that's enough? That's plenty?
No, I mean, that's probably just how many people have access to
DirecTV.
that network or whatever. Yeah, exactly. Like how many subscribers or whatever. But have that package, who knows? Who knows?
I know. We were kind of discussing this before our after show here, and we were feeling like, especially right now, Heather and Terry with, his medical experience. He's a legitimate doctor. He's on Botched and everything. I mean, they're kind of a hot commodity. Like, I feel like they, considering who has been on HSN and QVC... Right. Heather and Terry are fine. They're right in there. So that's interesting. And I wonder if it's a matter of like having resorted to that, or if truly there was an exciting deal that made them choose to go there.
I bet you Evine said they would take less of a cut or something of that nature.
Could be.
You're probably
Very
right.
well could be, yeah.
Well, I don't understand why they were so nervous, because they have a host with them that can really kind of carry them, like hold their hand through. So, I mean, this host, though, you were noticing had some interesting ways about doing the show.
Okay, the kissing and hugging on air when they first came on, even at the end. I mean, as a host, that's like asking for dead air, first of all, which is the first biggest no-no on live television. Second of all, it's very awkward and it's leaning like you never
across
see anyone
everybody.
do that on live television, and it's for a reason. Plus, we know that you all have been like talking to each other. You greeted them 3 hours ago when they showed up at the studio. Like, it just seems.
And what if
very
you have
generic.
like a kiss on the cheek that goes wrong, and then you have like lipstick on your face the whole rest of the show?
Yep.
Come on, Evine.
I was more confused.
Figure it out.
I was confused because the host that did the run through was not the same host that did the live show. And why would you have a host that's the same name as one of your guests?
Oh, it's terrible.
I thought that too, but they made a reference to being on all weekend. So I think maybe they were on several hours, both Saturday and Sunday.
Oh, so maybe
different hosts.
different hosts.
Different hosts.
Well, I should have explained that. It was like, it didn't work.
You're keeping
for me.
us in the dark.
I'm Heather, and this is
Housewives
Heather.
episode.
Yeah,
that was weird.
No, that was very. I didn't like
Come
that.
on, you can't find anybody else in the building to do that. I'll do it.
Grant is here. Every girl I went to college with in Minnesota wants that job.
Yeah.
Only one of them's named Heather.
While some people were enjoying the Evine sales pitches, Meghan had her detective glass up and she was reading all the ingredients. And resveratrol, we'll bring this up again, but resveratrol is part of what was in the ingredients, and she, of course, links that right back to the cancer storyline. This girl is like a dog with a bone with this guy and his medical history.
Is. Ay, Meghan.
It's kind of exhausting. I mean, she can't even watch a shopping channel without thinking about it.
She brought up again why, Leanne, again, and reminded everyone that she has to watch someone die of cancer on a daily basis. And I also wonder, too, if this Brooks thing is becoming a distraction from that, like a necessary distraction for Meghan.
Could be.
She's searching for her justice over here, so she feels like she's doing something,
Right.
and is being proactive.
Because she can't do anything more with Leanne. Right.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's got to be so hard. So hard. To be seeing this. And I completely understand her frustration with Brooks. If she truly in her heart and soul believes that he's lying and that this is not true, that's frustrating. Yeah, that's terrible to think that someone close to you that truly is suffering from this, and here you have someone lying all over the place. But at the same time, you have got to give it a rest at some point. Like, yes, in your mind, in your brain, and maybe like to your husband who is forced to listen to you complain about things, that's when you can talk about it. But it's like no one else clearly wants to know about this, or at least everybody seems very surprised at the amount of investigating that she's doing, and every little piece she unveils, everyone's like, "You did what?"
There's always a reaction. I think Shannon was, oh my god. Like, I think Shannon had like a moment, like a recoiling of like, I can't believe this.
Yes.
Meghan says, I want truth and I want justice.
Justice.
Now I feel like we're getting a little too crazy here with this.
I feel
the
the same way.
Justice.
And
And
that's
what
not
did he
the
even
first
do to
time.
you?
I
What did he
think
do?
that's the only way she can verbalize what she's feeling like. She feels like it is an injustice that Brooks is getting attention and treatment and being let go for things for having cancer. Meanwhile, Leanne actually does have to have cancer and is dying of
And is
cancer. And
struggling.
there's no positivity
Yeah.
over here. Like, I think that's where that word justice comes in. Is it's like she's gonna catch Brooks in this lie because that is not right what he's doing. Right?
Yeah, truly. Which in like a small internal way, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. It's very frustrating and awful, and like, go Meghan, yes, but overall, it's like, it's almost like too gnarly, the investigating that she's doing. It's almost like, uncomfortable and scary.
Yeah, she doesn't have a lot going on, I guess.
Yeah.
There's a Newport Imaging got a lot of shout-outs today in this episode. And
Did someone say Newport Imaging?
I think I heard that.
I think so.
Newport Imaging.
Oh, but don't go there for your PET CT scans.
Yeah,
they don't do it.
You gotta go to Hogue.
You gotta go to Hogue.
You gotta go to Hogue.
Just skip that phone call, go straight to Hogue.
See, we learned something watching The Real Housewives. This franchise is prolific.
It's educating everyone.
Yes. So Tamra was looking at the sheet. Of course, she's like, she's like, I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. It's like basically other women were like, the dumbest housewife looked at the report. Like basically that's what they said.
Chosen to look at the report and relay it to the rest of the ladies.
Not only that, but there was like a huge spelling mistake without spaces between all those medical terms. I mean, that really is terrible.
That would never happen.
I mean, do you think that was a doctor form? What is this?
I just want to know what doctor would send anything like that. No, 2 words stuck together I can see, but not like 14 all
Tamara's
stuck
like,
together.
what word is this?
Just gonna I'm going. I'm
not
going.
gonna help.
I don't need a space bar.
She's like, is this the type of cancer you have? It's a very long type of cancer.
I need the reading glasses. Let me.
Oh yeah.
Vicky,
Yeah,
get the
but
glasses.
this whole thing
Really
reeked
though.
of a scheme on Brooks and Vicky's part.
And Vicki was very removed from the situation.
She was just
And
she
Brooks
was.
had a prepared speech.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He did, didn't he? She kind of said that, and then at the end, when Tamara handed the paper back, she's like, "So you're gonna tell everybody now that this exists and that it's the truth, and you're gonna be on my side, and I'll jump in front of a bullet for you, or something along those
my
lines."
warrior.
Yeah. So I don't know. This could put Tamara and Vicky's relationship in another whole tailspin for next season. It depends how things shake down.
I did not understand this whole entire game plan because, okay, so you've decided that you do not want to show your medical records to any person. However, you're gonna choose a single solitary representative to then take your information and spread it among the group. Like,
He doesn't have cancer. He doesn't have cancer. Right.
Like, do you really
does have
think
cancer.
that's going to do anything? And by the amount of telephone we've seen between the ladies throughout the season, like, really, do you even think that information is going to travel properly to all the right avenues and like really squash Meghan just by telling? Like, no,
Tamara hasn't really been counted on for that in the past.
truly.
Yeah, but
So,
I mean, but Vicky,
I don't know about this.
Vicki views Tamara as her closest ally, though, in the group, her closest friend. So maybe she said, I can give her this information. I trust her.
Yes, which I feel like her approach then should have been, hey Tamara, you are my best and closest friend. I want to give this information to you and you only. Like, you are so close to me that I care about your thought alone. I'm not expecting any action out of you, but for your peace of mind, here's what it is true. And then why would you then send her on her way and say, oh, now you've got to tell everyone? Like, no, she did not sign up for any sort of responsibility
Messenger
like
role,
that.
right.
Yeah.
And I think
but she trusted her to do that job. I'm trying to think.
Well, trust, or I don't know that that's the right word, maybe.
Manipulation.
Yeah, something like that.
And Tamara even picked up on it.
Well, and it didn't help when she was with the ladies at the very end and they all were kind of harping on it and saying like, yeah, she kind of set you up. And she goes, well, did she pick me because she knew I couldn't read the results, which is, funny, but
true.
awful.
Yeah. It's
Yes,
possible.
that's precisely what we suspect,
And
Tamara.
that shady group text, I don't do like passive aggressive text. Like I don't even acknowledge it like that. If I got something like that, not that it was passive aggressive, but it was not
It
the
had
right
a
way
motive.
to handle it.
It felt ucky.
Contrived.
Yeah, I just won't even acknowledge
Yucky's
that.
a good one.
Yeah.
I won't touch it. All right, well, let's look at some news and gossip. There's so much going on. Let's do it.
Let's turn to it. Wow.
Christy
We have had a lot of
reports.
talk about these medical records. If you guys would like to see a close-up screenshot of said medical records,
yes,
you can
yes.
check them out online. The blog, The Real Mr. Housewife, has the documents, and they're actually kind of spreading online, I assume, now that the episode has aired. I was kind of thinking, I could get some clear screenshots of that.
Yeah.
So
I was thinking
just
that
look
too.
for it. They're on the internet. You can
So
check them out.
invasive,
Did you read them?
I looked at them, but
laws.
they were a
Okay.
little blurry. I don't have my
laws.
glasses, guys.
Oh,
But
It's an issue.
Huge update to this entire story, and I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this. But reportedly, very soon, Brooks will be returning to California for cancer treatments, and he will, of course, be staying at Vicki's house. because where the heck else is he going to stay?
A hotel.
So now this kind of goes along with what the friends have been saying, that they're sure that Vicki and Brooks aren't really broken up, that after the reunion they'll get right back together, and apparently he is planning to come in and stay with her and continue his treatment here in California.
Yowza.
Well, Shannon was on Watch What Happens Live, and she said, I think that they'll probably be back together soon based on their history.
That's
Good
right.
lordy.
And maybe some unexpected allies, or maybe this makes a whole lot of sense, actually. We know that newbie Meghan Edmonds has actually been chatting it up with Gretchen, former OC housewife Gretchen. They apparently have struck up a friendship, and Gretchen has been giving Meghan advice about, what to do, what not to do.
With Vicki.
And all that kind of stuff.
Oh.
Especially Vicki.
Maybe.
So, brand new BFFs there.
Excellent.
And
There's still room for Gretchen on this show. I don't know why she isn't on it.
Agreed. She was on Watch What Happens Live, and she talked a lot of stuff. She's friends with Tamra'S ex-best friend Ricky and knows a bunch of things. I mean, it basically sounds like she still is in the OC housewife ring. Yeah. So no reason why she shouldn't still be on the show. Just a couple little bombs she dropped on the show. Shannon also said that Shannon and Vicki don't talk anymore, and Gretchen did admit to watching some clips of the show, but I don't know if that's
She
true.
never admits that she watches the show, but she knows everything
she
that's going
totally
on.
does.
She's done that since she left the show. We know you watch. How
I know.
can you not?
Yes, exactly.
And it did get super duper weird when Tamra came up between Shannon and Gretchen.
I saw that.
So if you guys didn't catch Watch What Happens Live last Monday, go back and watch.
I want to know why, if Vicki and Shannon aren't talking, then are Shannon and Meghan still, because when Meghan was here,
When Meghan was here, she did say they aren't speaking anymore, and actually Shannon herself reiterated that just a couple weeks ago in an interview.
but why? They're so chummy
she's-
now.
Shannon says she's upset about what Meghan has been saying in her interviews about Shannon.
Right.
That was Meghan's speculation when she came, and Shannon did admit that a couple weeks
But
ago.
that was
in an interview.
because she's watching it back and she shouldn't be doing that, because now they've
Gone past it.
Meghan should have been like, don't watch until episode 17.
Then we're good.
17,
Yeah.
then we're square. You can tune in.
Yeah, no, it seems like all these
yeah.
friendships have really gone nuclear since they've stopped filming. And it's going to make for an explosive reunion.
Oh,
yeah.
Can't wait.
Gentlemen, I can't wait.
I'm definitely looking forward to that reunion.
Good lordy.
I'm like, I haven't been this excited for a rock reunion in a while. So as we look forward to that, let's look forward to the future and predict what's coming up next.
Oy vey. Oy no.
I know. We're all over the place. Well, I don't know that it's necessarily a prediction, but next episode, I'm extremely excited for Brianna'S visit.
Yes!
Which
The truth teller.
Yes, and she was hit with the news essentially of the farce that perhaps Brooks is laying on all the ladies, and Brianna straight up says, "I will kill him myself." Straight up.
So dramatic. I like
She's
it.
very serious in her dislike for Brooks. Very serious.
I predict she's staying in a hotel.
Yes.
100%.
She's not staying at the house. I am also
That's just
excited
terrible.
for her arrival, because I always like the knowledge or whatever, commentary, whatever we want to call it. Yes, I appreciate her. I don't know. What else did they show us in the previews that looked interesting?
We're going to see Tamra'S Baptism.
Yeah, she's getting all made up to go get the dunk.
And I liked how the makeup artist said, "Just don't squint too hard."
Yeah, you're like,
Like,
going
okay.
waterproof.
yeah, I don't know. I think I'm most excited about Brianna.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the highlight of next episode. And just to see, is it only a conversation or does anything else materialize?
Well, on her way to the baptism, Vicki says that the women are doing Satan's work. So it looks like a religiously themed episode next
This
week.
whole season
It's
has
been a
very
season.
religiously
Yeah.
themed.
Yeah, and we've been wishy-washy on Tamra and this whole thing, if it's genuine with the baptism and wanting to find God and all that. So I think we're definitely going to get our answer next week.
It seems legit. I mean, it seems like she really turned into a tough time with her custody battles, and I believe that she's really in it for real.
Yeah.
I really would have liked to have some of the commentary of former religious housewife that
Oh, Alexis.
that literally Tamra just talked such
Oh, yeah.
I was going to
shiz
call her
about.
by her nickname.
What? Yeah, what was the nickname?
Jesus Jugs.
Right,
Yes.
Jesus Jugs. I mean, because
Revered.
Good old Jesus.
Tamra mentions Alexis like throughout the season, like, oh, all the bad things I said about Alexis, but I really would like her perspective on all
That would
this.
be a very interesting angle. Yes.
Right? I'm surprised that they haven't
Capitalized on
Well,
that.
I
yet.
saw Tamra on Watch What Happens Live earlier in the season, and I believe a caller or a question came through about, like, you know, do you regret anything you said now that you're Christian, regret anything you said towards Alexis? And she kind of made a joke about it. Did you see that?
Yeah, she didn't take back what she said. Like, she said, I stand by saying something negative about Alexis, but I shouldn't have said that because of the religious connotation.
You got it.
Yeah,
Oh,
she
yeah.
definitely
Ooh,
didn't
that's close.
apologize, but she like apologized to God, kind of, I guess.
Yeah, no, I really feel like
Yeah, no.
Alexis's perspective would be interesting.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'll try to get in touch with her. We'll
That's
see if we
all
can
I'm
get her here.
saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like it. No, it's all good.
Then
All
we're
right.
like, bring Gretchen back, bring Alexis back,
Bring
bring
them
them all
all
Well,
back.
I don't know if we need Alexis back full time. Just for the husband alone, I don't know if I can handle that. Too much. They still have those trampoline parks?
Oh yeah, they're building
Yeah.
more.
Oh, wow.
They're
good,
thriving.
Good for them.
Yeah.
All right.
People
Well,
like to jump.
Yeah.
Apparently-
Who knows?
apparently so.
Well, give us a thumbs up and share, rate, subscribe, and of course, tweet with us. There's more to say. You can find us on Twitter. Ladies, where can we find you?
Oh, everybody, please hit me up at Christy Reports and also check out ChristyReports.com. Some good stuff for you.
Woo! I always do that. You can find me everywhere at the Alison Dean, because I am Alison Dean.
She is.
Yes.
The
It's true.
Yes, and you can find me, Blake V, on Twitter and Instagram at Blake V Media.
And you can find me over on Twitter at Grants__rants. And you can find me on my podcast, Grants Rants Hollywood Talk. That'll do it for us with the Real Housewives of Orange County.
Wee! Bye, everyone! I feel
Maria
like
Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff. We would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.